We are about going to start. Okay, please stand up. Okay, take your time slowly. Okay, please hold the palm as usual. Okay, one bow to the Buddha. Okay, first prostration. Okay, second prostration. Okay, third prostration. Okay, one more to the Buddha again. Okay, please stay a sec. Okay, please stay a sec. Okay, as usual, we chant the Guan Yin Pusa, the name of Guan Yin Pusa for around 10 minutes. Please hold the palm and follow me. 南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世 音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。Okay, please follow me. 南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。Okay. Okay, good morning all brothers and sisters. Okay, before we start the class, just as a reminder, our next lesson will be on 7th of May, as usual. Every month, 1st and 3rd of the month, 3rd week of the month, okay? Next lesson will be on 7th of May. Now, second thing, I'd like to apologize for previous lesson, we cancel one lesson. I'm sorry for any inconvenient cost. As you know, Buddhism talk about impermanent, anything can happen. Right now. So we should treasure what we have now. We really don't know what's going to happen in future. Right? Especially we see the virus nowadays very serious. 16,000. This morning I saw the newspaper. Slightly go down, few thousand go down a little bit. But like yesterday still got 16,000, slightly more than 16,000 cases right now. Hospital about together 400 something admitted in the hospital. ICU about less than 10, not too bad. It's under control, but have to be very careful. Have to wear the mask. The mask is compulsory. Probably have to wear until we go to coffin. Really, the mask, I think, very difficult because the virus won't be disappear. I tell you. The moment I see how people so inhygiene, selfishness, I tell you the virus won't disappear. It's just like whether serious or not serious. I mean, if you, according to the Dharma, from Dharma perspective, not from my perspective, from the Buddha teaching the perspective. From my perspective, also the same thing, right? The moment we see how people behave, all very selfish one, inhygiene, wear the mask anyhow throw, and so forth. You should know what I'm talking. This is called Singaporean, anyway, although I'm Singaporean. Okay, anyway, can you refer to your textbook, page 60? Now, always I ask you to see the Chinese, because my Chinese sutra is different from your one. This one I got it from Bright Hill Temple, Guangming San, so it's different from here one. So always I say refer to page number or whatever, actually it's probably different page number, so I realized that. And also, if you can remember the lesson before, last lesson, although we cancelled, I told you before, because this is, you can see some other scholar, philosopher tell you, regarding certain sentence, they will explain to you the background and so on and so forth. Now, as I told you before, we got no time to do that, So what I can do is probably just highlight to you those important figures. If you're interested, then you go back, you can refer to the glossary behind. Page number, I think it's based on alphabetical order. So that, then we can move faster. Otherwise, I don't think so you can finish, within 2 years or within 1.5 years. Right? Because you have to flip to the behind page, then go over again. I myself find it very inconvenient, very troublesome. Okay? And also, after I highlighted to you, then the student feedback to me, he say, can we don't do that, just that can save a lot of time. I agree. Yeah? Actually, I told you before he or she feedback to me. Okay. Now, so please refer to your textbook, page 60. Now, we are now in the chapter 2. So chapter 2 is actually basically the gist of chapter 2 is to tell us how to control our thought. Just a mind, thought or mind. How to control our thought. So this is the gist, G-I-S-T, the gist of this chapter. In fact, the whole Diamond Sutra, right? We talk about emptiness, sunyata. Okay, emptiness. Now, so this emptiness, if those students attended my Dharma class before, we call it detachment, right? Detachment. Of course, Sanskrit is called sunya or sunyata. Now, why we suffer? Because we always cling on, attached to the external world, object. And this is how we suffer, okay? Because things are impermanent. Things are all depend on causes and conditions. 我们叫缘起. Now, so this chapter, they tell us the gist, or you can say the core teaching for the Diamond Sutra is actually tell us how to control our thought or mind. Xing, how to control. Okay? Now, if you study the Dharma class before, I show you always I draw the triangle, among the three relationships, among these three wholesome acts. Okay? Physical, verbal, mental. Okay? Among these three relationships. Sen, in Chinese, Kou, mental, Yi. So when you talk about cultivation, 修行, is how to purify our three wholesome acts. But most importantly, how to purify our mind. 心, Yi, or whatever. Just like this one will refer back to the Diamond Sutra. That's why I told you already. You must know the basic Dharma. Okay? And this is the purpose of Diamond Sutra. Tell us how to get rid of suffering, how to eradicate our mental defilement or affliction, 烦恼. Okay? So at least you know the gist, the rest of the chapter, or even within this chapter, you know what is going on. Okay? Now, just to recap what I've taught you before, because after 1 month, probably everything is written back to me already. Okay, page 60. Now, we stop here, the verse here. It is rare, Bhagavan, most rare indeed, Sugata, how the Tathagata, the Arahant, the full enlightened one, bless fearless bodhisattvas with the best of blessing. And it is rare, Bhagavan, how the Tathagata, the Arahant, the full enlightened one, entrusts fearless bodhisattva with the greatest trust. Now, although Sariputra, he's the one to raise up the question, to ask the Buddha, and because of he asked the Buddha, this is a dialogue, so Buddha tried to explain, his teaching in detail. Now, besides Sariputra, Sariputra he was not a bodhisattva, right? He's just a kind of arhat. Okay, so therefore, Buddha have to talk to those during that time. Those audience besides Sariputra, those arhat, they do have bodhisattva. Those great bodhisattva or fearless bodhisattva. Right? So of course Buddha will refer to Bodhisattva as well. That's why you see the verse here, it says the full enlightened one and trust, fearless Bodhisattva. Okay? With the greatest trust. Right? Trust very important. You trust somebody, right? You trust somebody, you have a confidence, then you will accept what he's teaching or whatever he say. Just like doing the business, the trust, 信任, very important. When you see the old timer, those businessmen always talk about the trust, the friendship, the kind of things. It's just like in China, mainland China, recently the Ma Ying-jeou visited because Qing who want to worship to the ancestor. The Chinese people say, as long as we admitted we are all Chinese, we are under one big family. China, regardless whether China, mainland China or Taiwan. So everything can talk, no problem. 什么都可以谈. So trust, you build up the trust. If you don't have the trust, I suspect you, you suspect me. I treat you like enemy, you treat me like enemy. So the trust is there. It's just like husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend, right? Teachers and student, right? Trust is there. Buddha and his disciple, teachers and student, just like outside, the same thing. Okay, so before we go into the detail, okay, have a quick one. You take a look on the PowerPoint here. Tathagata. This is in Sanskrit word, transcode Ru Lai. And the Buddha have 10 titles, 10 names of the Buddha, 10大圣号. Okay, so Tathagata or Das Gone One, Ru Lai in Chinese. This is a common epithet, right, for Buddha Shakyamuni. So in the sutra, the Buddha uses this term to refer to both to himself and to the Buddhas of the past. Because not only Shakyamuni Buddha, we talk about 10 directions of all the Buddha, 十方佛. So this is a different kind of teaching, if you talk about other religion, okay? Our religion, God, Almighty God, one. Jesus, Allah, or the Taoism, we call it Jade Emperor God, 一王大帝天公, right? One. Now, in Buddhism, talk about Buddhas, all direction, 10 direction, everybody can become Buddha. Everybody have a potential, right? Potential enlightenment. Everybody have a Buddha nature. We have a chance to become Buddha. So that's why I say Buddha nature. In Buddhism, there's a concept called Buddha nature. 佛性 is a very important concept. And this concept, Buddha nature, is actually we can find out in the Nirvana Sutra, Parinirvana Sutra, 涅槃经. Right? So why, if everybody can become Buddha, we really follow the Buddha's teaching, and we practice in our daily life, and this is how we generate the wisdom, so that we can attain liberation or become enlightened one, 成佛. So there are so many Buddha in the past. Not only Shakyamuni Buddha. Shakyamuni Buddha is our great teacher. He was born in India 2,600 years ago. And because he was emerged, born in India, our great Lord of Teacher, the honored one, and he told us, all right, there are so many Buddhas in the past. Amitofo, like here, Buddhist Lodge, they focus on Amitofo. Right? 东方琉璃观如来, Medicine Buddha, 药师佛. There are so many Buddha, no? Then probably all the more than 100 students you are sitting here, who know? Probably you are the future Buddha also. Future Buddha A or B, we don't know. Everybody have a chance, right? So we have an equality. In India, they do have a 4-caste system. 4-caste system? The status is very clear-cut, whether you are Brahmin, Kshatriya, whatever. Very clear-cut. Inequality. Even now, we don't talk about India. Until now, India is still the same thing, 4-caste system. Still retained, still there. Now, beside India, you look at South Korea, Japan. You look at the male and female, the status, different. The female will be lower. No? So your female happen that you're born in Singapore, very lucky, Right? Still equality. You see who is our president? Harima. Ladies, president. But she's going to step down already. You know the election coming? September. Now April, right? So we shall see whether probably May or June they will come out already. Who are the candidate, right? Then you have to go for vote because everybody can vote, right? So nowadays I see female and male are equal, 平等, right? Unlike you see those countries still not equal. Okay, back to the textbook. Now, so this is called Tathagata. Another called Sugata, Chinese called Sanshi. This is also one of the 10 names, 10 titles of the Buddha. Well gone. Of course, you can refer to your glossary. It means those people have a kind of freedom, in, out, very freedom, in order to attain liberation. Can I ask you, you and me, do you have a really, really freedom? Not really. Just like now you are sitting here, you got no freedom already. Because you are attending the lecture. You cannot move. You cannot go out unless you go toilet. But don't tell me every 5 minutes you go toilet. Why not? So no freedom. In terms of space and time, you are constrained here. Right? So, this different Sugata, right? One of the Buddha's 10 titles, it means well gone. Chinese called Sanshi. Okay? So you don't ask me why Buddha got 10 names. Just like you also got so many names. Dharma name, Christian name, family name, right? You boyfriend or girlfriend, another name. Then when you was young, the time another name. You got so many names already. And some people, even until you grow up, they believe in fortune teller. They say your name is no good, you bad luck, you better change your name. But you cannot change your surname. Surname cannot change. But you change your name. But let me tell you, these are very superstitious. No matter how you change, still the same. The only thing you can change is by the wisdom. Right? To change your karma back to good karma. Not the name. The name is not important. So please, if you are really true Buddhist, don't believe this sort of thing. If you really know the Dharma. Okay? Okay, back to the textbook. Now see the content here, the explanation. Here and elsewhere in this sutra, Subhuti, Shiputi, this is one of the Arahat, consider Arahat, very good in emptiness, right? 解空第一. Now Subhuti normally addresses the Buddha by this series of titles, which are among the 10 titles of every Buddha. Every Buddha, 10 titles, 10大圣号 in Chinese. So the Buddha is an Arahant because he is free of passion and will not be reborn because he is transcend from the 6 cycle. You know 6 cycle, right? 六道. And the human is one of the cycle there, right? Or even heaven, 天, God stay in the heaven, still within the 6 cycle. So to us, God is considered imperfect. Imperfect. Now, you're talking about the God. Do you know nowadays they talk about cult, like cult, 邪教, cult. This morning newspaper came out again. You know this cult in Singapore not too bad, government control. Those underground, 地下的. China also a lot. But to what I know, my understanding, South Korea, you look at South Korean people, very superstitious. I'm very surprised, This morning came out the newspaper, Sunday Time. There's a younger, pretty girl, and with a cult, the preacher, don't know what they are doing, Go very extreme one, so better be careful, Because they are superstitious, they believe that the end of the world coming, this one, you pray this one, or you drink this one, can get rid of the virus or whatever. Or you go for suicide, 自杀, then you can go to heaven. Very, very extreme kind of way of doing. And this is called cult, 邪教. You see, South Korea, I'm really surprised, nowadays in the modern society, and yet a lot of people, It's just like a lot of young people. Last time they say old people very superstitious, but young ones are more superstitious. 年轻人, you know where they go, Waterloo Street, 西北路啦, 拜观音, But that one is not Buddhist temple, That one is 先天道, 一贯道. But a lot of those people driving Mercedes, even young one, because happened that I go there and buy something, I saw so many young ones. Not only old people, the young one even more superstitious. I really, really surprised. Anyway, back to here. So the Buddha was free from passion and was not reborn. A Sugata, right? In the page 463, I mean, I already show you in the whiteboard, well gone. Hey, front one, ask them to come to the front. Front got the empty seat. Behind one, no chair, right? Yeah. So, Sugata, because he has gone beyond this mundane world, mundane world refer to our human world. Mundane, super mundane, it's 出世间 world transcending. Okay? So beyond this mundane world, Tathagata, because he has come back to teach others. Okay? Next page, 61. And a fully enlightened one, because there is a nothing of which he is not aware. Right? And this is we call it Buddha. Right? You know everything, and so on and so forth. Okay. I think this one, you see this scholar, Wan Ji Xiu, this in the page 469. Oh, we talk about this one, Ken. The rest of the scholar, you refer to yourself, you go back to read about yourself. So far. Now this one is Paul 469. Can you turn to Paul 469, page 469? Okay, I just quote this one. At the bottom, 王日修. Now, he is a layman, okay, Confucianism scholar who one day gave up his study to practice Pure Land Buddhism. But we realized that Buddhism is more superior, better, right? So he can accept Buddhism. He was noted for living a pure and simple life, just among pure and simple life. Pure and simple life. Now, his commentary is quoted by Huan Lian. Anyway, this is a Chinese one. Okay, back to the textbook again. The front one, page 61. So at least you know who is this gentleman. Now, the way you explain the Tada. Tada means suchness. Suchness in Chinese called 真如. Means true. True. 真理. That's why I told you before, in Buddhism, there are so many terminology, right? So if you without dictionary, very confused one, And this is how Buddhism, and also you must quite good in linguistic study. For instance, if you want to go back to the original, read the original sutra, you must know Pali, Sanskrit, or Tibetan, depend which you are interested, whether Mahayana, Theravada, or Tibetan Buddhism, and you want to read those Japanese scholars, and then you must know Japanese language or whatever. That's why you see those people doing doing academic study in Buddhism, whether your master degree or PhD, even the duration longer. Unlike you do the engineering, 3 years, minimum 3 years can get a PhD in physics, chemistry, engineering, regardless any secular university, or whether NUS or NTU. 3 years, minimum 3 to almost 4 or 5 years, very fast. But Buddhism, no. Minimum 5 years, 5 to 8 years. Why? Why it takes so long? Linguistic study. And linguistic study, 语言学 language, kill you already, I tell you. You learn so many languages before you can go into the research, do the research. So that's the reason why the duration of the course is longer, 比较长. Okay, just for your information. Okay, back to here. So tata means suchness, gata means to appear. Right? To appear. That means to appear through, eventually to appear. So tata is the basic essence. That means the substance of our true nature. And you can say this is true nature means emptiness. The nature of emptiness, 性空 in Chinese. So gata is the appearance of our true nature. Right? Because when you talk about nature, it's a philosophical term. 性, Chinese called 性, nature. This is a philosophical term, nature. Human nature. Can you see the human nature? No. So nature cannot see through our naked eye. 肉眼看不到的. But I can see your appearance, form. In Chinese, in Buddhism called form. Right? Appearance, 相, your appearance, 相貌, your look. I can see your appearance. I mean, how you look like. Whether you're a boy or girl, whether you're pretty, ugly, handsome, and so on and so forth. So this is called appearance. But your nature, I can't see. Right? And how to reflect your nature? Just a Buddha nature. I cannot see your Buddha nature. I cannot see the Buddha nature. But how you reflect your Buddha nature is how you behave. How you behave. So this nature is emptiness. Although I cannot see the emptiness, but how you behave, whether you behave according to the Buddha teaching, then you can reflect this called Buddha nature into action, into your behavior. And you can reflect from your behavior, and then people can see, how you look like, and how is your character, and so on and so forth, whether you're a good or nice person or the worst one. Right? So here, it says, appearance of the true nature does. Tathagata refers to both the essence and the appearance of the Buddha. That means once behind, the scene cannot be seen one. Once you can see through the appearance. It's just a sutra. If you're very good in linguistics, you're very good in English or Chinese, of course, you read the sutra, you could understand. No problem. This is called appearance. You can see the wording through the wording, But how is the nature, the behind the scene of the sutra? And that cannot be seen. That we have to experience it. We have to practice it so that how we're going to generate wisdom. And that is behind the scene. So therefore, you must come for the class. Otherwise, you can read yourself at home. Who want to come here? And weather so hot, but luckily today, this morning, quite cloudy. Why not? I don't need to come here, waste my time, money and time. I study at home came already because I'm very good in English. I'm very good in Chinese. But another 50% behind the scene, you need to come to the class so that the speaker will tell you how to do it. All those kind of other factors you need to take into consideration, or probably even tell you the example how we practice it in our daily life. As individual experience are different, Why not? And this is the reason behind. So here, he said, which is why it is used throughout this sutra. Okay, next paragraph. So also, no blessing could be greater than a Buddha's example, and no trust could be greater than to follow such an example. So the blessing and the trust that Subhuti has perceived is the Buddha's practice of the three perfections. Buddha practices, what are the three perfections? Number one, perfection for balance. Okay, for balance. In beginning for his living, begging for his living, and the perfection of charity. Because Buddha have to go for alms begging, not asking for money. By right, the Theravada Buddhism, Theravada Buddhism practice, the monk, those Thai monks, by right, they cannot hold the money. 不持金银, this is one of their precepts. You cannot give them the money, by right. You only can give them the food, the living kind of necessity, those items and so on and so forth. But not the money, But nowadays, people who care. Right? By right, but always by left. Yeah, always by left. You say, by right should be like that. But by left, no. But always by left one. And this is a true fact. You see, from Mahayana perspective, it's not the money. It's not the issue of the money. Money itself is neutral. It cannot differentiate good and bad. Just a virus cannot differentiate good and bad. Very neutral one. But it's who is the one to spend the money? And that one can think about good and bad. People like you and me. So money itself is not an issue. Right? But to them, because they are very conservative, they say, cannot do this, cannot do that. But Mahayana perspective is your mind. Most importantly is our thought. That's why I say in this sutra, say how to control our thought, especially the negative thought. Not positive one. Positive one, of course, refer to wisdom. Negative thought. So that we end up with, this is how we get into suffering, that kind of thing, problems, and trouble. So the perfection of charity in teaching others through example, and the perfection of wisdom, of course, this is the most important one. Okay? Why you want to learn Buddhism? Because you want the wisdom, 智慧. And wisdom is a feature very unique in Buddhism. It's different from other religions. Other religions, they don't talk about wisdom. Okay? So the highest they can go, they can become God. But from our perspective, they are still within the 6 cycle. Considered imperfect. It's no good. Not say no good. It's imperfect. For instance, you study in the school. The minimum marks to pass 60. I don't know, Polytechnic 50. My time, I don't know. They say China and Taiwan all 61. Okay, they say minimum mark, passing mark 60. And that's to them. At least they pass because they didn't do anything havoc. To harm people, to kill people. And yesterday news came out, today newspaper came out. The Japanese Prime Minister, luckily, the bomb. People throw the grenade. The smoke, they say smoke grenade. Abe happened before, right? But this Anting Wishong actually are very lucky. Right now. And, the thought, just like this one, we talk about the mental, just like computer, central processing unit, CPU. So that can control our verbal speech, how we talk, and our behavior. Right? If everybody have a positive thinking, like yesterday, like last week I went to give a lecture, the Sutra of Six-Pack Tread, Liu Zu Tan Jing at the Kovan site. In the Sutra, they quoted Vimalakirti Sutra, 维摩诘经. You know Vimalakirti Sutra? 维摩诘经. There's a very important phrase, statement there. You talk about if we have a pure thought, and this money world will become pure land. So most of it is how have to depend our thought, whether negative or positive. So if everybody have a pure mind, I told them, everybody have a pure mind, pure positive thought. Because you talk about space, become very clean or whatever. Of course, this one can use it in your mundane, in this mundane world. For instance, if everybody know how to behave yourself, have a positive thought, right? Or positive energy, 正能量 in Chinese. Everybody well behaved. I tell Singapore is really clean city, Although it has a campaign, Desmond Lee, the Prime Minister, encourage say you by 2030 we want to plant 1 million tree. 100万棵树, 1 million tree. Yeah, good. This actually idea came from Lee Kuan Yew. Good. But everybody do behave yourself and you throw your rubbish or whatever. Garden city, so what? It causes air pollution. The whole environmental issue is still there. 没有环保. I told you before. It's because everybody have a negative thought. So this one, how we apply the Dharma teaching in your daily life. Regardless, you eat at a hawker center, regardless, you are traveling in the public transport in terms of MRT, bus, taxi, and so forth. Or you eat the lunch here at the dining hall, first story, or B1. Well, you eat, you must collect your tray and put it back on the trolley there. And the 2 days before the Straits Times came out, is it horrible? Although people return the tray, but forced to return, Singaporean. Otherwise get fined, okay, return. And once people return the tray in the trolley, and you can see that, this is how so many people waste food, 浪费食物. So if you as a Buddhist, 讲这个媳妇, how you treasure your fortune, 媳妇. 过堂, like people like us in the monastery, whatever we eat, make sure the bowl, everything is clean at the end, because you eat already, then the last one to eat is your soup, soup, or plain water. You must pour into your bowl, stir a little bit, then drink. 吞下去, swallow in. So that you see at the end of your meal, then your bowl, whatever plate, it's become very clean already. And people come to wash, they are so happy, so clean, hygiene. And this don't waste food. This is how 佛教讲说不能浪费食物啊 ，you cannot waste food， 要惜福啊。But I don't know here lah because I didn't see how they eat at the end. I don't know whether anyhow throw over. I think I don't need to see one. Sure, anyhow throw one. But I tell you, in the hawker center, people don't know. Especially in the temple, got the why? The Dharma protector can see you, no, they see. Although I cannot see you, I cannot watch out of you throughout the whole meal. Because the Dharma protector cannot be seen, ma, or especially 观音菩萨给他的呸哇，Hey, I'm not joking, you know. Is nobody around, how you behave? No, you behave when somebody around. 对不对？没有人的时候，你怎么去表现，那个才是 more very important. 偷鸡摸狗 under table 啊，等等。You thought people don't know, but he know, you know. He know everything, you know. You say, I put $1 million hide inside my pillow. Your wife don't know, your husband don't know, but somebody know. Correct or? You cannot cheat him. It's the same thing. Not say you just well behave in the temple, but regardless any places. Right? And this is how you convert this pure defiled world into a pure land. You don't need to go to the 西方极乐世界 to see 阿弥陀佛. Not necessary. Even now, you can convert this into the pure land. It depends on individual effort. Everybody has to play your part. And this is called cultivation, 修行. You saw, 南无观世音菩萨 blessing. All these are, of course, you can chant, but you chant is one thing, but you behave another thing, left and right. Then everything back to normal. Zero, 无了, no merit, 没有功德. Yeah. It's just now 清明. You worship the ancestors. And this is a good custom. To remember your ancestor, they passed away, to pay the kind of respect. To repay the gratitude to them, 感恩. This is a good science. But if you do it in the superstitious way, the merit you have is not 100% already. Even during the normal time, you should well behave and come here and then just transfer merit to them. Or you can worship to them in the normal time. Doesn't mean that we wait for Qing Ming, then everybody rush on the same day, and traffic jam, this and that, Especially now the hot weather. Just like if you want to have a vegetarian food, you don't need to wait for 初一十五, no? Who fixed the one? You know who fixed 初一十五? Not Buddha, no. Buddha 没讲这, you never say that one, Who say, you, 你自己讲的. You set your rules, must be 初一十五. And this is set by Chinese people, no? You know what they believe in 初一十五? To them, they believe 2 days a month. 初一十五. I don't know how they get it. He said these 2 days, the spirit, 神啊, the good spirit, they are patrolling. They patrol, no? 吃这 pass, 不吃这 cross. So 你吃这吃可以看吗？我吃这嘞，我吃这嘞。And I tell you, better don't go for vegetarian food during these 2 days because long queue and the food is also no good and also very expensive. Gong eh, dude. Eat one meal the berry ma, whether lunch, breakfast or dinner ma. You don't go on the same day. Everybody rush ma, stupid one. But this one cannot change. Come to the class cannot change. Come to the class is different. Everybody must come together. But don't eat together. It's true, no? You see, who set the rules and regulations? I go and check the sutra. Buddha 没讲呢. You see, 真幾人真堅強嘅呢？哎呀，伊講嘅啦，阿媽講，阿公講啦，你看， Then we just follow blindly. So every time you go and buy something, 30個啲假啦，了解你講啊，哇 long queue 真逼迫，and people selling the food also 先真逼迫，hot temper already, weather so hot, external hot, inner hot, boom, explode, 爆炸 ，just like volcano eruption, 火山爆炸。You see those people are very hot temper one, especially, so you better don't talk too much, 3個半啊。Don't get carried. They will scold you, I tell them, last time I buy one thing, I say, Auntie, wow, you shout at me, 我没有这么老嘞，我是死 Auntie. So you better don't talk. Sometimes don't talk too much, Really, 3個半，OK， 感謝 ，Thank you. I need to hold down. 我講 Auntie 啊，感謝什麼 Auntie 啊？我 I'm not. Oh no. You see, because the age are very sensitive one 嘛。So 唔通叫 auntie. Auntie sometimes mean that refer to your old age, It's kind of respect, auntie, But I think better do auntie. 點都好。Thank you. I'm going to say this is my experience. Okay, back to here. So these are the 3 perfections. So together, these perfections make up the offering of Buddhahood, which the Buddha bestows on all those present as a blessing and as a trust. So Subhuti also perceived that the Buddha's blessing and trust extend beyond his fellow bhikkhus to the large audience of Bodhisattva. Of course, during that time, the audience not just a bhikkhus or arahat, but they do have fearless Bodhisattva, right? Pusa. Right? So Buddha, give a sermon is to all the audience, not only just, although Subhuti is considered one of the arahat, he's the one to raise a question, but do the Buddha not just answer to him or to the bhikkhu or bhikkhuni, bhikkhuni, but also refer to Bodhisattva. Right? It means all the audience are there. So Subhuti also perceived this one, fellow of the Bodhisattva, thought he represent the pinnacle, of Hinayana practice, because Arahat is considered Hinayana Buddhism 小乘的嘛, right? Stravaka vehicle, 声闻. So Subhuti realizes that this is a Mahayana assembly, because this is a Mahayana Sutra, 金刚经 Dharma Sutra. Now, Mahayana, we call it great vehicle, 大乘. Theravada, we call small vehicle, 小乘. But this is when Buddhism transmitted to China during Eastern Han Dynasty. So when they transmitted to China, based on Chinese culture and so assimilated 同化, mixed up. And they don't recognize Mahayana Buddhism when it transmitted to Zhongguo, China. In India, we call it Theravada, because once you compare, in comparison, so we do have Theravada and Mahayana. But in India itself, they don't have such thing that very clear cut that, these are the 2 different schools, sub-schools, whether Mahayana or Theravada, because they are under one. Okay? That's why you see when I taught in my college, I taught those Theravada monks, 小乘的. I told them, of course, you don't recognize Mahayana teaching, but if you base on the historical background and the doctrinal development, they are closely related, although it's not spoken from the word, from Buddha mouth, but they are closely related, especially the Nagarjuna say that not necessarily must through the Buddha, mouth of the Buddha, word of the Buddha from his mouth and say this is, his teaching. But having said that, but you look at the response, I think they still believe that, Theravada Buddhism is more original, 比较原装的. But anyway, this is the belief. Okay, back to here. Okay, can you turn to the next page? Page 62. The rest will be read up by yourself. Okay, another verse. Even so, Bhagavan, if a normal son or daughter, 像那个善男子、善女人, people like your lay people, 善 means you are keen, you are very keen, you really want to learn the good things. Or son. Just like I believe you come for the Dharma class, this is called Dharma talk. You are very keen, because it's an English one. You are probably from the never attended before, or you come from the Theravada Buddhism. The Theravada monk won't teach you the Dharma Sutra. They will teach you Agama Sutra, Nikaya, or Hanjing. This is what they believe. Because this is a Mahayana Sutra. Tell you, when I went to Bangkok, the University of Maha Chulalongkorn, They want me to stay there to teach the student in the university as a professor. They say I give you more money. I told you before. They want to give me a lot of the benefit is very good, the pay. But I don't want. Because the professor there all train Theravada Buddhism. They don't know Mahayana Buddhism. People like us, we train Mahayana Buddhism, but we do study Theravada Buddhism. So we bolasa, left, right also can. So 我们比较吃香嘛。Alright, prospect will be better 嘛。Today is only Theravada, Mahayana 不会晓了。And he told me friendly, the dean there, yeah, can you stay back, and teach our students because we do have this kind of scholar, Mahayana scholar. So, they only believe Theravada Buddhism, so of course you don't expect them to study Mahayana Buddhism. And this is a very controversial issue because from the Buddhist academic study, 佛教的学术, there are different scholars. They propose kind of different version. And some they say they do recognize Mahayana. Some they recognize Mahayana teaching. But I tell you, Mahayana, is actually considered Buddhism, one of the Buddha teaching. Even more superior. Because you talk about Mahayana, they will inclusive, they will include Theravada teaching. It's just like, I always tell the student, I give an example. I tell my pocket got $10. I do have $10 in my pocket. 我有10块钱. What does it mean? What does it mean? Which means that I have a $1 to $10. 我有1块到10块. Do you know the logic? When I tell you I do have $10 in my pocket, that means I can spend $1 to $10, but I cannot overspend it. If $11, 冇夠鐳, I short $1. Because I only have $10. And this $10 is just like Mahayana teaching, 大乘. And $1 to $9 is just like Theravada teaching. So basically, when we say we are Mahayana, I know Mahayana teaching, which means that you also know Theravada teaching. Just like $10 include $1 to $9. If I tell you, say, I just have a $10, if you want me to spend $15, sorry, not enough money. 10 塊. It's just like to them, $10 is just like Theravada teaching. They only up to $10. If you want them to spend $15 and then $5 more, no money. You know the logic? So I give you a very simple example, just like this one. Okay, back to here. So set forth on the Bodhisattva path. Right? So according to Buddha, his intention is want everybody to practice Bodhisattva path, 行菩萨道. Not only just Arahat. Happened that Buddha was born in India. So during the time, very prevalent, 很流行嘛, meditation, whatever, must become monk, you must renounce, 出家, 修行, whatever. And this is more conservative, right? Because India has such a culture, custom, 冇變嘛, 唔變嘛. So you see how Buddha wear? Bare the shoulder ma, the right shoulder ma, 露肩ma. And this costume, the robe, is India. And look at Buddha, got 32 marks, right? 32项. One of his mark is called, his ear very long, no? 你发现他耳朵很长，闭整间. I tell because to India, this consider very good look, 耳朵很长, 你看. But now you say 你耳朵很长, gay, it's not the real one, something like that. And somebody say 耳朵长很有福报. So now you go and touch your ear. People like you and me so small, right? So, 咸菜命. But don't go and pull your ear. So this is 审美观不一样嘛. They say, oh, to them this is a very good look, the kind of thing. But to us, 耳朵这么长，怪怪. But you look at Lee Hsien Loong, our Prime Minister. I observe, Lee Hsien Loong. You look at his ear, 一個真長的咧，變大 So you can write to the Facebook. He said, look, what happened to a year? Very long, He said, cannot talk, cannot tell you. He also don't know. Anyway. Okay, he said the blessing and trust of the Buddha's example are not enough. Hence, Subhuti begins a third, or bracket even so, as he inquires further into the basis of the Buddhahood. Although Subhuti understands the doctrine, next page, of emptiness expressed in the Buddha's everyday action, he senses there's something more to Buddhahood than emptiness. Okay, and asks for instruction in this matter on his own behalf as well as for the other. Because he asks on behalf of other people, 代表嘛. You can have so many people ask, then Buddha to answer. Right? Represent. So we must stand Subhuti, Right? Because of him, ask Buddha questions. So Buddha tells us his teaching. 我们要感谢他呢. Okay? So the noble sons and daughters on whose behalf he has asked include those who acknowledge the Buddha's teaching, regardless of whether they have left home, people like us, as monks and nuns, or lay bodhisattvas, people like you. So the Sanskrit here, kula, which means of normal family. Right? Normal family. To be born into the normal family, right, is a result of karma. People like you say, wow, I born in this family, very lucky. I have a very good parents, My family also quite okay lah, middle income, I can traveling, can have a nice food, nice clothing, and so on and so forth. So this is because of a good karma in your past life, 你的业嘛. You say, I was born in the poor family. 3 meals also got problem, no money. I had to go and beg for the money. Recently, I walk out outside. There's a young man, I think 30-something or 40-something, poor thing, paralyzed, 残废. One leg only, 一只脚没有. But he don't just stand out there asking for money, He sell the tissue paper, I saw so many auntie gave him money, 那我刚好有2块钱$2，所以我就拿给他，他笑笑 I gave him Then he want to give me a tissue paper. I said, don't need, thank you. You see, some people 有骨气 although I'm paralyzed, right? But I sell something. You give me the money, but I give you something. 这种人, 你才 admire him. But what to do? Karma. In Buddhism, talk about karma. Well, some people very lucky one. Whoa, have a good job, this and that. Everything smooth. Wow, 一切都很平安. And somebody, so many problems, daily problems a lot, kill you already. So all these are karma, Buddhism. It's not by the God. It's not, everything created by the God. Then how come you have this kind of thing? Then God should help you, because created by Him. So end up with paradox, 矛盾. Buddhism talk about karma. It's your own action. You answer to yourself. But this can be changed. Luckily, Buddhism said can change. Spiritual cannot override karma. 我不能跟你变，你就好了。No, cannot. Spiritual power cannot override the karma, but only wisdom. Wisdom can change our luck. Wisdom can change our karma from bad to good. How to get the wisdom? Cultivate the Dharma, 修行嘛。Why not? Don't always go to the hall there. 佛陀啊，阿弥陀佛啊，保佑我，当然会保佑你啦。But the problem is you have to do your homework 嘛。Why not? Then you can change your luck 你可以改变你的命运嘛 your fate. Why not? You can change your karma because karma can be changed. Why? Because in Buddhism talk about impermanent. Things are all impermanent, 无常的 subject to changes. Subject to changes. Good to bad, bad to good. Just like I told you already, sine wave curve, up and down. So impermanence cause suffering. 无常故苦. So you and me are suffering now. Get back to here. So this is called normal family. To be born in the normal family as a result of karma, likewise to encounter the Buddha's teaching, people like you and me, and to possess the capacity to understand it, are also made a possible one's karma. So now you can come here to study Dharma class. And I forgot to tell you, in fact, I told you before, your textbook, one of the $1,000 was donated by the student. So generous. So we should say immeasurable merit, thanks for him or her to donate the money. The rest of the money is actually come from the Buddhist lodge. So we should treasure it. Why not? You just go to any temple, where you got textbook free one. Because they didn't collect your tuition fee already. 就偷笑了嘛. Free of charge to come here for the class. Up to your donation, you say 是这样, yeah. But even the textbook give you free one, I never come across one. I thought outside so many temples. So you're very lucky. So good karma, you. Admire you, 你的福报很大嘞，你知道吗? You see, now the staff, full-time staff stand down here and wait for you, to serve you. 你看你们这种多么好命，真好命Right or not? Yeah, it's good karma, whether in your present life or your past life. But don't take things for granted. Don't take things for granted. 不要以为理所当然。Nothing is 理所当然的。I tell one thing. There must be a cause and effect, 因跟果的。So we show that you have a good cause. 你好的因嘛 then you have a good result or effect, cause and effect. Right? So 你们都是很有福报的嘞。So don't be so pessimistic,哎呀 Venerable 这真是咸菜命。哎呀，有时咸菜，有时不咸啦。Okay, so if, however, someone should hear his teaching and not practice it, such a person will waste an opportunity that might not come again for many lifetimes. Don't take things for granted. Next time will be better. When you come here, not only textbook free, or even the lunch, just a Shangri-La's hotel standard. Do you expect your future life will be so good? Who knows? You don't know. It also solely depends on your karma. Right or not? So we say, you should treasure 把握现在 in Chinese 什么当下 You must treasure what we have it in your present life. Really, we don't know what happened in future. 我怎么知道？可能明天起不来细掉，不会去。Who know? Recently the weather hazy. I thought it's an Indonesia fire, but yesterday not too bad. Evening rain a little bit. Newspaper came out. A lot of those senior, especially senior people, they feel uncomfortable. It will affect your breathing, that kind of things. Haze, bong. Singapore not too bad. We say this is a human heaven. 你要去 heaven 这个就是 human heaven 的。You compare with other country, very extreme weather, dua kali sea, then rain and you get flooded, The Singapore is kind of a moderate. To me, I say moderate. I was in Taiwan 4 years. Taipei, 盆地 surrounded by the mountain, 这个叫盆地 You know how you're going to dissipate the heat? There's no way you can dissipate 散出那个热 And the summertime is hot and humid. Hot is okay, You know what is humid, right? Humidity. If so humid, 就变成闷 Chinese called 闷 It's 死了跟你讲 That means no wind one, That one is very uncomfortable one. Hot is okay, 你要知道hot 跟 humid do together, that one is very, very extreme one. 台北就是这样。Singapore these 2 days, last few days, 就是这种 weather. You look at the foreign worker, how they do the work. Besides helmet, they do use a cardboard, become umbrella, Newspaper came right, the Straits Times. I tell you, I read every day one Straits Times. Okay. So, next paragraph, you read that by yourself, no time. Turn to next page. Okay, another verse. How should they stand? How should they walk? And how should they control their thought? 应如何降伏其心 in Chinese. So here they translate it as thought. 心, or we call it mind. English can have different expression. Chinese 心就是心嘛。One Chinese character 嘛，对不对？ English can you use mental, thought or mind, kind of thing. Then you see here, the Buddhist terms for mind in Sanskrit is chitta, bodhicitta, Buddhism, chitta, C-I-T-T-A. This is in Sanskrit. and has a wide range of meaning. It includes sense perception, verbal, and abstract thought. Okay? Emotion, feeling of happiness and unhappiness. Somebody very emotional one. They say, ladies are very emotional one, 很感性的女孩子. That's why I see a lot of, not only Buddhism, Taoism, Christianity, those religion, Muslim, female more than male, no. That's why you ask your boyfriend, husband to come to the temple, you see, right? But the girls, we can say emotional, 比较感性一点. You can see a lot of female one. 一定的不是佛教而已. But 佛教 not only female more than male, no. 老人多过年轻人呢. Right, no? You look at Christianity, you see City Harvest Church. I told you before, right? A lot of youngsters, no. Because they go there to make friends, It shows that you can see that people come to Buddhist temple. It's not making friends, no. All coming, all living in the lonely hell. All keep silence one. So how to make friends? I told you already, last time my student told me, 因為媽媽甲講真多打波少年的真好看的甲講。Then when she followed the mother came to the Dharma class, mother 你騙我的，我什麼騙你？他說哪裡有什麼年輕人都是老老的，你看 LKK 老 cock 咯。Then I joke with them. I say, the mother should, of course I can say, so ask you go to Christian, go to church. Okay, happiness and unhappiness, attention, concentration, intelligence, and more. Okay, back to the textbook. Subhuti questions were prompted by seeing the Buddha going about his daily round. So even when you become Buddha, everything is normal. Everything is normal, nothing special. The only difference is you are free from suffering. But you still have to walk, you still have to eat, you still have to sleep, you have to wear the clothing, 不是说不穿衣 naked body. So if everything is normal, even you will become arhat. Because you are not easily affected, from outside world. Because you do have the mental defilement, free from suffering, with this physical body. So if you are with this physical body, then with thanks to, some illness and so on and so forth. Because the way we eat, 我们吃五谷杂粮嘛. So you will get sick very easily, just like virus, COVID-19. Nowadays, you walk on the roadside, you can ask anyone, or even discuss more than, more than 100 students. If I really want, ask who got the COVID, I think probably 5 out of 10. Right? Because it's so common. Everybody get it. 10個5個 Singaporean now. And this wave, Ong Yi Kang, health minister said, not too bad because it's not serious. As long as the hospital don't get overwhelmed, people, can admit in the hospital, then, You see, initially China don't want to open up because hospital don't have enough bed. China population 1.4 billion, Singapore is 5 million, 5.6 million population. That's why they have to do it very cautiously, And now they open. But no free visa for Singaporean. Because last time we go to China, 15 days, you need to apply the visa. But now you need to apply the visa because they are controlling. But the fellow Chinese monk, from China, they told me, he said probably the end of the year, the second half of the year, probably we need to apply visa anymore, free, then we can go to China anytime. So if you want to travel to China, then you book the travel agent the end of the year, don't go now. You go now, still have to apply the visa. I mean, if you want, if you want to go for 15 days, you need to, apply the visa. Okay, back to here. So, standing and walking in the city, returning and sitting down and meditating on what was before him. And they reflect his desire to learn how he and others might conduct themselves in the same manner. But they also betray the concerns of the followers of the lesser path. So Subhuti seeks the way to restrict karma-producing action and thought, okay, rather than the way to transform them. Next page. So sometime later in his career, after he has realized the teaching of this sutra, he tells his fellow disciple, Shariputra, 34, right? Shariputra. This is another one of the of the Buddha, the disciple of the Buddha. Thus should bodhisattvas stand and walk. They should resolve that as the Tathagata does not stand anywhere and does not stand anywhere and does not stand apart and does not stand apart, will I stand. And as the Tathagata stand, so will I stand and walk, my feet well placed without a place to stand. So as I told you already, even you become an eternal one, even you are free from suffering, even you are free from the mental defilement, everything is normal. Last time I went to the temple, people say, this behave like not normal people, the way he thought I couldn't understand. He said, 这个是真的修行, real cultivation. In fact, you are wrong. Everything is normal. Called normal person. The only thing different is because you are free from suffering. As long as we are with this physical body, we still have to walk. We still have to wear the clothing. We still have to drink the water. We still have to eat. We still have to take the transport. Nothing special. Even for monk, nun, same thing. Sangha, 出家人, 有什么了不起? Right? Even for your lay people, also the same thing. The difference is you are free from suffering in terms of mental, in terms of thought, not your physical body. Physical body will be. You sure have sometimes fall sick or whatever and so on and so forth. You still have to suffer with some pain here and there. This is a very important concept. Okay? Now back to here. So, when they walk in this manner, they conform with the perfection of wisdom. In connection with the wisdom, 跟智慧相应. For instance, like you walk, some people anyhow walk, anyhow look see. Right now. But if you practice mindfulness, you walk very mindful. Sometimes you join the retreat, right? They call walking meditation. Some people do that, right? Walking meditation. It means you only focus on your step. Nothing else. You're very mindful. You see, some people very due to scatter mind, very forgetful, this and that. I tell you, this one you will get dementia very easily, True, You practice mindfulness meditation, you can cut down the risk, of dementia. And your memory will be quite good sometimes. 不要想太多. Actually, those are meaningless, 没有意思的 waste of time. Right? You see outside some temple, they conduct mindfulness, right? They call it mindfulness. A lot of people join, Why? They find it very stressed on working. Wow, 压力, stress, then a lot of things happen also. Then a lot of problems, this and that. They practice meditation or mindfulness. You see, this is one of the eightfold paths. Right mindfulness, 正念. Right? What do you mean by right mindfulness? You know what is right and wrong, and you're already mindful on your action. Nothing else. Just a meditation. You try it all. Just like you're sitting here to attend the lecture. So you listen attentively. 谛听, very focused, very mindful of the thing. This is called mindfulness already. It's just a concentration. And you will realize that the time, you will be beyond time and space, You find that, 真早一点了. So fast, 1 hour gone already. Why not? You will feel it. But if you think that, 真的久诶, 好些多个茶, finish it faster. I tell you, 这个就是 you constrained by time and space, right? You know, counting, 真的久诶, I tell you, this is very painful, Why not? Okay, back to here. So, he could not see how the Buddha controlled his mind, and yet how the Buddha stood and walked was a function of his mind. Hence, Subhuti asked how to control his mind in the same way. Buddha can do that. So he asked the Buddha, represent ask the Buddha, hey, how come you can do that? Can you teach me? I don't know how to do that. Something like that. Okay, turn to the next page. So, next one, 66. The Buddha told the Venerable Subhuti, well say, Subhuti, well say. So, it is Subhuti, it is as you say, the Tathagata blesses bodhisattvas with the best of the blessing, just as just now there, and trust bodhisattvas with the greatest of trust. Of course, he trusts bodhisattva, make sure they also not only just asked by Subhuti, you as a bodhisattva are also talking to you all, you should practice this, how to control our thought and so on and so forth. Because it's a Mahayana teaching. Definitely the bodhisattva have to, have to not only attend, but have to do it, because you're bodhisattva, and bodhisattva represent Mahayana Buddhism, 大乘, Not just telling you how to control the thought, only refer to Subhuti. Not only that, but refer to bodhisattva as well. So he trusts them and say, yeah, I know that you understood, know what I meant. Okay, see the content. The Buddha never stopped teaching. We call it Dharma wheel, 辗转法轮量. They always turn the Dharma wheel, just like Dharma talk, Dharma classes, Dharma, never stop one, never stop teaching. You see the some temple got Dharma wheel, 法轮禅转, right? This is the meaning, the actual meaning. That's why I tell you, Dharma talk, Dharma class, you come here for chanting, doesn't mean the holiday off. Then Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. You're wrong. No holiday. Like me, no holiday one. You see, Sunday must come here. And tomorrow I got my BCS to teaching. Your Monday to Friday work, Saturday, Sunday, your own free will time, right? Can go crack key or whatever, Orchard. People like us, no holiday. Even Saturday, Sunday, even worse. Why? Because temple, they do it on Saturday, Sunday. Even because people Saturday, Sunday come to the temple. Normal time they are working, who want to come to the temple? Why not? So it's the other way around. Okay, back to here. So the Buddha never stopped teaching when asked. He teaches through the words. He teaches through the word. Otherwise, he relies on his example. Confucius once said, "Do you, a disciple, think I conceal something? I conceal nothing. Right? I have no practice I do not share with you. Okay? And this is my way." This is actually from Confucius, Kongzi. So to Buddha, it's nothing concealed. He didn't hide anything. Right? Whatever I know, whatever I practice, my experience, I just share with everybody. So there's a Chinese word called 教学相长. You see, people like us as a teacher, we teach you. Now, before we teach you, we have to do some homework. We have to practice. We have to prepare for the lesson. And the preparation is depend how you prepare, how detailed. If you prepare in so detail, you spend longer time. You talk only 1.5 hours or whatever. But when you prepare the lesson, it's more than that. But once you prepare the lesson, we learn a lot of things. So 教学这样, you learn from me, but actually, when during the teaching, I learn from the teaching, I learn more than you. So I should thank you, give me opportunity to teach. Why not? Because I learn more than you. Although you learn from me, but I learn from the textbook. Why not? So all those speakers is depend on your experience. You see, I went to the church in England. I went to the church. You see the pastor. They are so impressive, and they are so experienced. It's all depend on experience. Doesn't mean that you're a PhD, you're a master, then very good in teaching. No, not really. And once you teach, you gain the experience, then it becomes very natural. You don't have the stage fright. And you can share with people your experience. Right? Dharma is all from the word, from the textbook, from the sutra, and this is a fixed one, big one, But when you come to practice, it's very practical, right? Just like learning mathematics in the school, I do have one student, she's very hardworking, although she's graduated from computer science, and she now pick up the accounting, 做小了. And this one need more practice, And the thing happen to you is, all in various ways, all kinds of things. But when you practice it, then you gain experience. Different problems, different way of solving the things, or different solution. So therefore, if you know the fundamental teaching in Buddhism, if you have a basic Dharma knowledge in Buddhism, if you have a right understanding in Buddhism, then congratulations, because even when you read any sutra or attending any Dharma talk classes, it will be easier for you. I tell you, this is my experience. So therefore, you have to commit yourself. Dharma class, or then once every 2 weeks or whatever, die, come, no? Through the systematic way of learning, just like you study in the secondary school, you start from primary school, secondary school, junior college, then university, then postgraduate study. Very systematic. I taught them the way to Buddhahood. 全部知道 the textbook. The textbook is very comprehensive and very systematic. Master Yin Sun no is just very biased to tell, say, Maya is very good, Theravada, you don't learn it. No. Right? The 5 chapter is all from the 5 vehicles then to the great vehicle, Bodhisattva. So in the very systematic way and very comprehensive. That's why I told them, of course you can learn other textbook. Doesn't mean this is only one. But I find that this textbook is very good for beginners and very good for teaching. Really? Wow. Okay, back to, can you see the page 69, last one, before we call it off. Now, 10:11. 5 minutes. The Venerable Subhuti answered, may it be so, Bhagavan, and gave his full attention. Wow, ready. 准备好了, prepare 好了. Okay, full attention. I sit down there and wait for you, Buddha, to tell us give us a sermon. How to control the thought. How to control the thought? Simple, ma. You just say already, ma. Right thought, ma. 很简单, ma. But tell you about how to do it. It's something to do with the emptiness, attachment, dependent origination, impermanent, 好戏在后头. But today, just now, we got 5 minutes. We finish this verse. The next lesson, after Labor Day, we come back and we'll tell you how to control the thought. Well, now, I said, Venerable Subhuti answered, may it be so, Bhagavan, and gave his full attention. Is it Jiang Wei Long? This one, if you want to know this gentleman, you turn to page 441. Okay, go back to check it. He's a lay people scholar. Okay, what he say? Listening here is connected with thus have I heard. 如是我闻, thus have I. You see, every sutra, at the beginning of the sutra, they will started this phrase. 如是我闻 in Chinese. Thus have I heard. At the beginning of the sutra. If Subhuti did not wish to listen to this, Ananda, again, you know Ananda, right? Or none. Also, one of the 10 disciples of the Buddha, very important disciple also, would not have heard it. So there are 3 kinds of listening. First, we listen to the word. Second, we listen to the meaning. Third, we listen to the truth. That's like you listen. 3 types of listening. Listening to the word. Listening to the meaning. Correct now. And listening to the truth. This is very important. Only truth. Then this is how we generate wisdom. So as we listen to these words about controlling the mind, we must grasp the truth and forget the words and the meaning. It's just like, if it happened in this morning rain, you come here, you use an umbrella, but once you reach here, then you must put aside the umbrella already. You don't need to carry an umbrella anymore already. Just like through listening the meaning, through the word, then eventually you know the truth. So word and meaning you can throw away already. So by turning our attention within, we can then rediscover our own nature, our true nature, own true nature. For we all possess this perfectly still nature, but it is obstructed by the ignorance, Wu Ming. You know, the 12 links started from ignorance, right? That means no wisdom and delusion that rise and fall without cease. Thus, students should concentrate on turning their hearing within, and they should keep listening until they realize the Buddha, all beings and the mind are not three different things. People like you come here, must know the word, must know the meaning, right? Then you practice it in your daily life, and this is how you realize the truth. When you realize the truth, then that's all. You end the suffering. It means that you have a wisdom. Right? So you come here is to listen to the word, listen to the meaning. I tell you the meanings, right? But the truth I cannot tell you already, because the truth you have to do it by yourself. My experience is not your experience. But I tell you my experience for your reference, 给你参考. Okay? So sometimes you say, oh, must like that, like that. Oh, okay. Sometimes can use, sometimes, probably it's not suitable for you. Okay, next one. Avatamsaka Sutra. Chinese called 华严经 Avatamsaka. Avatamsaka Sutra in Sanskrit. Now, if you want to know this sutra, page 439. Now, what this sutra say? Like thinking of cool water when you are thirsty. Of course, you're thirsty, you definitely want to drink water. 口很渴嘛. I also want to drink once I finish the class. Hot water how? Especially hot weather, What you want to drink? Cold water. Right? So cold water, during the hot weather, the business very good one. Ice cream, this and that, to cool down your body temperature. So like thinking of fine food when you are hungry. Wow, jialat, lunch hour coming already. Potong yao. Hungry. So like thinking of magic pill when you are sick. Or like a hive of bees that depends on honey. So we too are like this, hoping to taste the sweet dew of the Dharma. Right? So now waiting. Very keen to anxious to wait for the Buddha to tell me how to control the thought. So sorry, the thought, how to control in 2 weeks' time. 7 of May. But too bad, time sorry, exactly 11:15. 在一點3嘛. Anything you want to ask me? Now, so next round we will go to chapter 3, 第三品. This one got more than 30 chapters. So you just imagine, at least, because we do once every 2 weeks. So at least must be, probably at least 1.5 years, at least 2 years, around 2 years can finish. I don't ask how long, day by day, week by week, who knows impermanent. You see, make a vow, I want to make sure I finish the whole sutra. Probably halfway you already, bye-bye, Pure Land. Okay, so shall we do a dedication? Can refer to the PowerPoint here. Please hold the palm and follow me. May all the merits thus accumulated be dedicated to all sentient beings. May all sentient beings and I together attain Buddhahood. Okay, we shall go help. Please stand up. Okay, please hold the palm and follow me. One bow to the Buddha. Okay, see you. Bye. Enjoy your lunch. Okay, wish everybody good health. See you on the 7th of May.